Hit
I love just randomly clicking it.
I love that I said hit the button as you hit the button.
What's good, everybody? We're back for episode 6 of the Snake Reality Aftershow. It's your hosts, Foate the Goat, Kristin, Lindsey, and special guest Jake. What's up, Jake? I gotta say hey to the homie.
Yeah, I know. It's so exciting to be here with you guys and to see all the cool stuff you're doing over here and talking about the snake. And I loved getting to listen to the podcast and catch up with you guys. So it's been great.
Lindsey, what's up?
Hey, happy Wednesday. We're a day behind, but maybe we're excited to talk to my snake besties, so I'm ready to go.
Let's do it. Kristin, that was an interesting episode. What's up?
What's good? I'm really excited. It was weird not doing this Tuesday night, blaming Austin for that. But I'm happy to be back with you guys, literally doing it at the same time that we would have if we did it yesterday. I was able to convince Austin to do it tonight. So here we are.
Yes, we're here. We're doing it. We're live, and we'll see how this goes. We'll see if this is a Wednesday thing we start doing more often. We'll see. But I want to break this question off right off the gate because this was I don't know about you guys, but I felt like this was kind of a slow episode with a very flip heavy portion of the episode. I don't know about you guys. Would you guys like? What's your interpretation of the episode?
I agree with you. I feel like the majority of this episode is the speaker that we're going to get to later on, but that's like all the drama here. Otherwise, I kind of felt flat a little bit to me, but we've got some things that are happening. We've got some moving parts now. So I feel like this is like the lead up to a massive thing that we saw even with the boys that we mentioned a couple weeks ago. So I feel like this was the setup.
Lindsey?
100% agree. I watched it live last night and then I rewatched it today before we filmed. I have to say, like, everyone should watch it live, but it held up so much better the next day. Like, I feel like the show is bingeable, and maybe that's something we can get to as the season progresses. But really want to hear, Jake, what do you think? Welcome to the show. Excited to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I think like there were moments in this episode that were really interesting. As Kristin brought up the speaker, I mean that was definitely the main selling point of the episode. That's where everything ended up happening. But I feel like there were a lot of conversations as well that like made you think, okay, something else might happen, and then it just ended up with maybe like the most boring outcome possible.
I think that that's what the snake does really well is that they do kind of like blindside us as an audience as well. Although I do feel like this one wasn't really a blindside for us where we did. Yes, we get those side conversations that they're trying to bring to us at the end. But again, like, never mind. I'll wait till the end.
Yeah, I mean, I get what Kristin's saying. There was a lot of characters that I personally thought could have went home tonight, but then there was the one that, went home that really didn't even grace our screen much. I guess maybe that was the edit saying, she's going to kind of silently kick rocks. I don't know.
Yes.
But
Agreed.
a majority of basically like right before our challenge we get, I think a lot of the talk was Catherine's a snake, Catherine's a liar. Don't trust Catherine. The bros are kind of anti-Catherine. Do we think that Catherine probably overplayed a little bit in the past episodes? What's everyone's thoughts on that?
Lindsey, you go first.
So the obvious answer is yes, but I love Catherine. I think she's hilarious. So I want to see her continue to do well. But we'll get to the end of the episode as we get there with the snake and the vote and everything. But she came in really hot last episode. And she's kind of going off the momentum. And when you're kind of in the big alliance, but also in the middle, you kind of balance where you play. And I'm wondering if she's setting herself out for a downfall, which Catherine, I hope that's not true.
Jake?
Yeah, I said it to Austin and Kristin off air. But I just feel like for me, I feel like Catherine is so focused on playing the villain and playing a character, like that she's kind of putting herself in a position where she's probably going to lose the game. I just think it's very hard to fake being like a character for so long, and just like, and you know, I feel like some of that personality of what she's showing in the confessionals is going to leak through, and like I think it already has. So I just think it's impossible to, you know, fake being nice for so long.
I think the problem with Catherine here is she, like, what is this, number 177 or whatever, is promise everyone safety, but then now you're left to do damage control. That's not where you want to be in this type of game. You don't want to be doing damage control because of something you just decided to up and do, right? Like, you didn't have to lie and promise everyone like that you were going to save them, which we're going to see in this episode too. Like, Catherine, girl, stop it. Stop doing that. What are you doing? But yeah, I definitely see a lot of damage control, and it's coming back to bite her in the butt big time.
I'm a big Catherine like strategy fan just because in this game I like the social player, blah blah blah, but like Catherine's pretty much that only one who's really, other than Amanda. I'll give Amanda some strategy points, but Catherine's really out there trying to really just 100% that game. Like social games, her like I'm connecting with the people, but I'm really gonna backstab them. So, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised that Catherine's games kind of got hit here, but I don't know. I'm surprised that it didn't get hit earlier. I think that's where I'm at with her game.
I said this too. I'm surprised it took this long for people to start getting the idea of what Catherine's doing, but I do think that she was doing a great job of slyly throwing in these things, but I think she's doing way too much now, and that's where they're all catching on.
I think from her big blow up, I think what was it? That was 2 episodes ago, where the big blow up with Derek and who was it? It was the bros. It was Bros and Derek, and right then and there, I was like, how are they not catching on to Catherine here right now? She's just a drama stirrer.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I also, in this early like part here, we do see Amanda gloating as well, and I'm like, guys, again, this isn't a gloating type of game, right? You're gonna end up upsetting people, and then you don't know who's coming into power, and you're gonna find yourself at the bottom of the safety chain. So stop the gloating. Not what I would be doing.
I try to figure out who I think I personally think's gonna win. Like,
oh no, did we lose him?
Oh, I think we lost him.
He looks so sad right now as he's frozen.
He does.
Oh, he's back. I saw him blink. Austin, you're back.
Oh, what did you hear me say last?
You were thinking of who would win, and then you went into a very pouty face.
Oh, I said Amanda. I said Amanda is probably somebody who I think's gonna win this game. I feel like to win the snake. I almost feel like you got to play the middle game, but you almost got to make yourself think that you're in these other groups, like not in the middle of those groups. And I feel like she's doing a decent job at that. I don't know if Lindsey, Jake, you agree with that, but
I think Amanda's doing a good job. Sorry, Jake, I did not mean to cut you off.
No.
I like her strategy and everything she's doing. There's a reason that my mom chose her from episode 1. She's comfortable with lawyers. And Catherine, even though I'm cheering for you, my parents taught me from a very young age, with mom being a bounty hunter and dad being a criminal defense lawyer, just shut up, okay? Just shut up if you're in trouble.
Right.
Yeah, I think Amanda's a really good player. Like, I think she is strategic, she's smart, I think she's well liked, and yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll get into it with what happens with the speaker, but even with that, I mean, yeah, some people are onto her a little bit, but I don't think it's something where it's gonna stick anytime soon. I can see Amanda making it pretty deep, if not winning. So
I think the issue with Amanda right now is kind of where Catherine is too. Like, they're playing the middle. Whoever's in power, they're catering to. Like, we saw her do it with Devontae when they were in the power and stuff. So I just honestly think that you have to, in this game, yes, you need to be fluid and move throughout, but like, don't make it as obvious as you are. Like, I feel like Frank and Alyssa are really good about that they're like very fluid, chatting with everybody, having a good time, making friends, but they're not like middle people, even though they are middle people. Like, and people have called them out for being middle people, but like
Right.
it's a different type of middle person, right? Like you clearly see Catherine and Amanda going, oh, Austin has the power. I'm going to cuddle up to Austin and have a good time. Oh, now Jake has the power. Let me go over here. Like there are big moves swinging in that direction where it's more for Frank and Alyssa being like friends and like having fun, right?
Yeah, and I think that's a good note to say before we head in too far. Like the duos, I kind of like where they're headed. I just like when there's a duo in this game where they're stuck and you kind of know that you're working with this player like a Frank and Alyssa. I mean, Jack and Brett's a pretty obvious duo. I'm trying to think of another. I guess Jordan and Catherine are kind of an obvious duo. I mean, they make it pretty obvious in this episode. But, I mean, Amanda and Derek used to be one. Maybe they still are. I can't really tell anymore. But, I mean, you get these duos, and then you almost got to remember, like, this is a group effort. Where am I going to swing? Where am I going to go? And that's where I like Amanda and Catherine's thought process of this game. They're swinging, but keeping their duo. But I do agree, like, they're definitely it's a prone strategy to get caught, let's be honest. And Catherine got caught already.
I want to know more about Frank and Alyssa once we get to the box part, but I don't want to go in too deep because I know we have to get to the challenge first. So
that's fair.
I'll save it for later. But yeah, I think talking about these duos when this box part comes up is going to be key.
So we pretty much go into what Devontae gives as a advantage or a disadvantage. And I think we all, yeah, I think we called this one. It was a disadvantage to our boy Derek, which I'm happy that we see a disadvantage because I didn't know how many disadvantages we would see in a season like this, but we see it right off like the second advantage disadvantage option. So, and we see Derek gets pretty confused in this challenge, but they basically come up and Jim is like, "Listen, you're getting in these damn coffins, and you're gonna like it." And I don't know about y'all. I know Kristin was hating that, but I'd get in that coffin. Come on now.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nope.
Yeah.
Whoever's gonna be Snake, I have fun, but absolutely, I'll sit right here.
Lindsey, really? You're like, man, I don't know.
I would totally get in, but I get where Kristin is coming from. I'm thinking if Mom was still in this episode, she would have noped. Just like she would have noped last week either with the water challenge.
Yeah. All right, I know Jake would get in that coffin.
I would, but I'd feel very cramped, and I like my space, so it's like I would probably want to get out sooner rather than later.
Also, to put for me as well, I don't know how well I'd get on this island because they put you in a crate. I wouldn't do that either. I'm not getting in a crate, and I'm sure as hell not getting in a freaking coffin. But also on top of it, though, part of the challenge is like you have to scrape this stuff. No, absolutely not. This is like rip your nails off horror movie that we're like about to do this bullshit. No, I will sit right here on the sideline.
Okay, yeah, was it just me, or did they have pillows and a water bottle next to them at one shot? It was really quick, but I thought I saw like a gray pillow or something, like a white water bottle next to it. And I was like, that might change my mind.
You could put a freaking medallion in there and telling me I would get the medallion just for getting in, and I wouldn't do it.
For money.
There will be other challenges. This is not mine. This is not it. This is not it.
Kristin's already insulated. She doesn't have to worry about her alliance. She's good to go.
Frank and I will have a cocktail afterwards, but this is not the challenge. I will be sitting there on the sidelines cheering you all on.
So that's fair because there's a few contestants who are kind of in Kristin's shoes. They don't want to go in there. I see McLean. I see you scratching and screaming. I think Catherine was screaming at one point.
A random scream.
Yeah, just the most random scream I've ever heard.
Yeah, I honestly wonder if producers do tell them to like scream or whatever. I don't know. Like I feel like I wouldn't have that reaction.
Right. Hey, do a like crazy person scream real quick.
We're gonna zoom in right on your face as you do it. I'm gonna get to production. Can I get to production? Because I laughed so hard at this episode.
Well, give us a second. Let me reel you in. So
reel me in, baby.
So we pretty much we have them all scratching away. Their nails are filing down to their goddamn stubs. And the goal of this is to answer a riddle that they have to do to unlock a combination of letters with numbers on it. I was so confused with that part, but it's a 5-letter word that they have to get out and basically be the first one to the podium. And honestly, I could not tell who was doing well at like the first 5 minutes of the challenge. They just kept showing shots of everyone either screaming or scratching away. I mean, we've seen Derek pretty much alluding to the fact that, oh, I see what my disadvantage is. Barely seen half the contestants. I didn't even know how Jack was doing the entire time. But we finally get to Jordan, and she's just randomly yapping away. In my head, I'm like, I don't know about y'all, but I was like, okay, she's, just scratching away like usual. And then the word dirty comes across, and I'm like, oh, I thought it would be snake or something, but she gets it, and she pops out. And then what happens, Kristin?
This is where I laugh, because we do see a lot of times in these reality shows is, yes, they are reality shows, but production is like, you don't break the fourth wall, all these things. And my biggest laugh was that they clearly were not prepared for this, because as Jordan pops out and runs for the medallion, all you see is production like scatter. It made me laugh so hard that they were like, oh shit, we weren't prepared for this. Run, everybody run. So
Lindsey, did you notice that?
I thought it was really funny. To be honest with you, I was so focused on they told us what the riddle was. I was like, oh, I'm going to solve it for anyone else. And we saw they already said there's going to be 5 letters on the lock combo, which we get a little bit more than the contestants do. So easy for us to guess. So I was busy writing down my 4 guesses before they would tell us. And I looked back up, and Jordan's just like booking it, and production's out of there. And hell yeah, Jordan. Great episode again. 2 in a row.
2 in a row, Jordan, that booty popping win. Get it, girl.
Jordan's been popular these past 2 episodes.
Yeah, I went from not sure who Jordan was till last week, and now it's like Jordan's actually like, she's coming out of her shell, and that's great. I like that we sometimes get this on Survivor too, where someone isn't really visible for a bit, and then they pop out, and then they're like a big breakout star. So I kind of like that when we get, arcs like this in seasons.
I love it, because Jordan went from who's the chick in the middle of the group to, oh, hey, I know who Jordan is. She just won.
Not who's in the middle of the group. I didn't even know she was on the couch. Like, this is the problem. But I'm here for Jordan. Here for it.
I just love how the 2 players who, well, I shouldn't say love, but it's interesting how the 2 players who came in halfway through the episode, like the season, I don't think we've seen them yet this episode. Like, they just are there. I don't know, man.
I mean, I've made the joke several times. Like, yes, poor Jordan was one of those just from early on, but like, who are these? Like, you never see them. Like, very rarely will they like cross your screen. Like, I totally forgot that they were even there at the last week's challenge, first of all. Like, so like for them to like, at least you got a little bit of Christine going like, I don't really want to get in this thing, but I'm going to because I want to win. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot this girl was here. So yeah, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so we pretty much get done with that part, and the edit starts to talk about, the alliances and the strategies of the episode. And, I think we should flash through it a little bit. So Derek pretty much talks to Jordan. Derek's trying to smoosh his way into the conversation. And I think we're starting to feel most of this portion before the actual challenge that kind of stimulates everything. Jordan's kind of like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm not sure what way to go. Most people want Catherine gone. Catherine believes she's puppeting Jordan, and Jordan doesn't really see it that way. She pretty much says, she's excited that she won and she's here in this way. Do we think that Catherine's puppeting Jordan? I don't know. I kind of did, but I guess Jordan's just not seeing it.
I'm going to let Lindsey or Jake go first because I have a thought.
Okay, you go ahead, Jake. I'm still mulling it over, but I'm very excited.
This is a big one because Catherine's playing people here, but is it Jordan the most?
Yeah, I feel like Catherine's definitely playing Jordan the most. I feel like everybody else has kind of been wising up to the game that Catherine's been plane. I honestly think Catherine's being set up for a big downfall within the next few episodes, but I could be wrong.
That would be fun. I'll be quick because I want to get to Kristin's take. It was just the snake lair sleepover thing. I was like, what are we doing? Why are we spending screen time on this? I just had questions. Give me a little bit what are we doing here, Catherine? But all right, Kristin, over to you.
Here's the thing about Jordan is, well, first of all, the slumber party and the skipping to the lair,
I'm glad you caught that part. I was dying.
Stop! I cannot.
Skipping.
And the jumping up and down pillow fight slumber party thing. I'm here for the nostalgia, but stop trying too hard. But here's the thing about Jordan. I do think that Catherine is playing Jordan, but which we're going to get into more so here coming up next after this, is that where a lot of people are talking about Jordan being somebody that can be easily influenced and she doesn't know what she's doing, she just listens to the grain. I don't necessarily see that. I see that Jordan is very on top of things, but is too what's better for my game? This could work, but this could work, but then wait, there's this one. There's so many ways to play it, and I feel that's where Jordan's downfall is the most, is her being I have all these different plans and ways to go about this, but which one's the best? And I don't know. And so I don't necessarily think Catherine's winning all of it out.
Okay, Kristin, quick question for you on that point. Do you think it's part of Jordan's profession? She's director of HR, so she's always thinking about other people and she's always strategizing ahead without telling them. Do you think it's both sides of her conflicting with this?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at Jordan, and this is just from an edit, I don't know Jordan yet. I mean, I hope to talk with her more at the end of the season, but I look at Jordan as somebody that is very calculated. She has to be that way in her job, right? You have to. And so where people might view that as a weakness, it's actually kind of a strength, because she's not only getting what Catherine wants to have happen, she's coming now. Everybody's against Catherine, so Jack's coming to her, Mac's coming to her. We've got all these people that are coming to her with these plans, and she knows she has plan A through Z. She just doesn't know which one is the best for her, because 5 minutes ago it was plan D. Now it's plan Z. Now 10 minutes from now it's going to be plan F. So there's a bunch of different ways, and she has to really calculate. And I think that Jordan is a very calculated person.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jordan's playing that game where she's using a little bit of her emotional game, but she's also keeping it real. She's listen, this is probably my best bet if I just play this person. I think she showcases it pretty damn well when she goes to do her pick later, who she really thinks she aligns with. Right before the speaker, I do want to throw out there was a conversation with Mac, Jack, and Brett with Jordan, and they're pretty much saying, listen, do not put Frank and Alyssa in the front. You got to pick us. We cannot have these newbies in the game. I feel the newbies definitely, they've been kind of a curveball these past few weeks, because they've kind of made decisions almost on how the game's going to end. So I don't know. That's a little bit of food of thought. Maybe not a question, but if anyone has any thoughts on the new characters of the cast, definitely speak now before we get into the speaker part.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel with Christine and John, it's kind of I feel maybe they should have been just thrown in at the very beginning with everybody else. I do think they were put in at a disadvantage to begin with. But I also feel at least, I mean, we'll talk about Christine's game. I do feel she didn't really take the initiative to build the connections, as we're going to see. She maybe made a couple here and there to keep her safe, but at the same time, I mean, she was kind of spared as well by other people blowing up their own games. So
yeah, I'm gonna agree with Jake on that one. I don't like the addition to new players, and they were definitely spared. And John, you're actually starting to grow on me, but it really bothered me that your button up and your bow tie didn't match. I would not let you wear that.
Oh, I love
Johnny, what?
Here's the thing. We know from the second that they even brought Christine in, and then they brought in John, I'm not a fan of that. Bring them in at the beginning or don't. Because now these people have put in the work, and now these people are getting thrown in randomly. Lindsay, you and I made a joke weeks ago that we're shit, throw us in even though you're done filming.
Right?
So it's one of those things of I just don't like that. But also, we've seen with Christine, she like tied herself to Cody. Cody went. She immediately, like my poor boy Cody, like he wasn't even like fresh in the ground yet, and she's like already on. But who does she go to? John, who's the other new person, which is smart because they are the new. They should stick together. But that's not where you need to go to. You guys are new people. You're fresh meat. Nobody wants you here. You need to make the connections with other people. You need to find where your in is. And I felt that they were setting themselves up to be not a long term in this game. They're setting themselves up for we're using you for a few like safety chains, and then we're gonna get rid of you. So I definitely feel like but that's on the production for bringing them in late. So
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably agreeable to both of them that they're probably like, wow, it's definitely a disadvantage to us that we're coming in, late. But I think John did a better job at, integrating himself socially than Christine did, unfortunately. But I think that's pretty evident with the chain.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time to get into the real meat of this episode, though, and it's the speaker that our boy Jim walks in with, and everyone's glaring like, "What in the fuck is this box? What could this possibly be? Is this another contestant popping out of this small little crate?" No, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have been talking crap all season, and we're gonna release it all to you. So I jotted a few notes down. If anyone has anything else that they want to add with the speaker, feel free to join in. But they pretty much go as is. Everyone thinks Derek's too good for the game. Everyone thinks he's running the game, show, whatever. Derek's taking it as compliments, whatever. Amanda's scary player. Jack's a good player. And then we get to John is dangerous. And everyone at this point is like, whatever, like I can take it, thick skin. And then McLean comes up, and they pretty much are giving out, oh, she's with Jack and only Jack. She's only doing what Jack says, and she's getting a little pissed off about it. I kind of think that's kind of funny. Alyssa's not even playing the game, really. She's just kind of there, ditzy, blonde, whatever. And then Frankie, who they pretty much are saying, he's there. He's just going along with Alyssa. He's a game bot. He gets pissed about it, shows some emotion. And then we pretty much ended off with Catherine is a lying asshole. Don't trust her. And Jordan's just naive as hell. And Christine is emotional. Fake tears. But nothing with Brent. I don't know if they showed Brent. I didn't see Brent. Who knows? This was a crazy portion of this episode. I mean, when you showcase the emotional part of the game, this game players, and get to show what people are saying about you, I mean, it gets in your head, and I think it got to some players' heads. I don't know about you guys, but what were your thoughts of this portion of the game?
I have lots of thoughts, but personally, I think that what's said in a confessional is that's you venting, right? Like that's you venting. Shame on production for now using that as part of the game, but also as an audience member, thank you, please, dear God, thank you. This is great. But as a player, though, I'd be a little pissed because. Like what I say in a confessional is supposed to be me venting about things. Like this isn't what's going on in the game. So for that to be used, a little like, not so great. But what I will say, one thing I didn't notice any of them doing was watching people's faces when these comments are made, because I'd be looking at every single person for a reaction to be like, oh shit, that was me. Oops, like that's what I said, or like something. Nobody, like they all kind of like focused in on what was being said versus who, like give me some insight into who said this. And that's kind of one of the main things I would have been doing. But on the Frank thing, here's like we all know I love my boy Frank, and I'm gonna die hard on my Frank here. He's a different caliber of a player, and this is why I wanted to bring up the Alyssa and him thing earlier. Is that they maybe play in the middle, right? They're playing in the middle. These two, they even said it in one. It was either Alyssa's or Frank's that they will always save each other. They are always 100% going to be together. But yet they're never brought up to get voted out or go down in the bottom. Like if you notice that versus like a Catherine or Amanda where they're clearly going one side to one side and being talked about, Frank and Alyssa aren't. And Frank has every right to be very upset in this moment because he's been playing this game with his heart on his sleeve, actually making connections and building relationships with these people. And I think he said it best. Like, if that's how you truly feel about me, then don't talk to me. Like, don't come, like, don't work with me. Because that's not who he is in this game. He is a very smart person. He's extremely smart. So is Alyssa. And they're not giving them credit for that. And I think that he had every right to show emotion and be upset about that.
No, that's true.
And by Frank, sorry.
Jake, what did you think about that speaker portion?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Kristin in terms of I think confessionals are for the players to say whatever's on their mind and not worry about it getting out to the other players. I felt a little bit better that nobody knew who was saying them because like it. So it reminded me of Total Drama Island of like when their confessionals were getting exposed and like. I'm just like, it works for a cartoon parody. It does not work for an actual reality show. But, in a way, it kind of worked that it was anonymous. I thought it was kind of funny that Christine was called out for being emotional, then she immediately gets emotional.
Yeah, that was pretty ironic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Lindsay, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, that was very fair, Jake. Yeah, my heart kind of broke for Frank a little bit because cheering you on, and I could tell you're feeling all the emotions in the moment. So I was feeling you, and thank you for being a great character and awesome on our TV. And I think you're doing a lovely job. The thing that I noticed was we were watching all the comments from everybody, and I was tallying them up. We had way more from Jack and Catherine than any other player. So I thought that was an interesting way to twist it into the game. Not that they could tell, but certain people have certain voice types, and you can kind of make a guess on who it is based on how they're saying something. And I wonder if that affected Frank as well.
I didn't even think about like tallying up the amounts and like the voice changes. That's really interesting. I'm glad someone picked up on that because I was not. I was just like watching everyone be pissed off. Like Max, like what the fuck? Alyssa's like, come on now, I'm smarter than that. I was just like watching everyone's reactions. It's so funny. But I think we pretty much get from that point, and it brings up the juice of the episode. So everyone's kind of trying to suck up to Jordan, like, hey, listen, you got to save us. You got to pick us first. At this point in the episode, I'm trying to figure out, like, who the hell is Jordan actually going to pick? Because the edit here, it's almost making it seem like she's kind of just not understanding who she needs to pick here. Derek comes up to her and kind of gives her the elaboration, like, listen, you got to pick whoever you want. Like, you can't listen to everybody. And then the bros come up and they're like, listen, you got to pick us because we've been saving you. And she's like, no, you literally have not been saving me. You've been picking like 5 other people before me. I mean, this is just a tough part of the episode because I was kind of saying this to Kristin while we were watching. Like, she's almost like the perfect person to be the snake at this point because she's the immediate middle. Like, you're going to get probably the juiciest portion of this snake at this point because she kind of is like right there in the middle. Like, she has no idea what she wants to do.
Yeah, I made a note that my wicked thing is she's popular because she is. She's very popular in this moment that everybody wants to talk to her, where Jordan may not have been in that position a couple episodes ago. I forgot she was sitting on the couch. Like, you know what I mean? So she was kind of an afterthought for, I think, a lot of people, except for Frank and Alyssa. And I love that she did call that out. She's like, no, bros, that's not how that went down. But yeah, I mean, I feel for her in this moment because, again, I think she is one of those people that she's very calculated, very strategic in what her thought process is, but she just doesn't know what the right path is.
Yeah. And I think it's really important to notice Christine is really lacking like the ability to come up to her, whereas John comes up pretty often after the speaker and is really voicing his opinion. He talks about his political background and basically stating, listen, you have to have thick skin in this industry and I'm going to use it to my advantage here. And it gives off multiple spots of him just telling people like, hey, listen, I don't give a shit. Like, I'll do whatever you need me to do. It's basically saying that to Jordan, like, listen, I'm going to do whatever you want. You don't really see that with Kristin. And then they have a moment where Derek.
Kristin.
What's that?
You said Kristin. You mean Christine.
And then you got Derek. I think it's Alyssa and Frankie. All those 3 are in one room, and they're trying to listen to Jordan. See you, Kristin. And then you basically are like, listen, this is what you got to do, Jordan. You got to stop playing both like this middle. Pick us. You know what I mean? We're at the point of the episode where I'm kind of thinking, I don't know about you two, but what are we doing here? Like, Jordan, like, what are you thinking that Jordan needs to do? I guess is a good question because that's what I'm thinking at this point.
I'm honestly thinking that picking Catherine wasn't the right move. I think she needed to separate herself from Catherine by this point. At the same time, you know, if she is thinking, okay, maybe I just need to let them think that Catherine's manipulating me and like let Catherine think that and just be using her to absorb the bullets right now, then you know, maybe I can see that, but I'm just not sure if that's like a deliberate strategy right now that Jordan wants to use. So I'm not entirely sure.
Right.
My internet hates me. I'm so sorry. We have a storm. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
So,
Lord of
Lindsay,
things.
go ahead and answer, and then I'll ask Kristin the question.
I'm not sure if it was the best move to Jordan and Catherine to be number one duos to the end. If I was Jordan, I'd be looking at what I can do with the bros, with Frank and Alyssa. And then I would even look at people in the middle. Look at Derek playing the middle. Look at Amanda playing the middle. Like, what can we be doing there? And I would try to think out which of these duos or sometimes trios is my best one to infiltrate and elevate my game.
So, Kristin, I asked basically right before like the pick here, maybe bring in your opinion on what Jordan does here. What are you thinking that Jordan needs to do to, start this chain off?
So I thought long and hard about this, and again, I apologize for the interruption, guys, of my internet. But I did think long and hard about this situation that Jordan is in because Catherine is public enemy number one, right? And so I personally always view is keep public enemy around because then people are not going to focus in on me. So the issue here, though, with the safety chain is you have to make this pick. And so now you're aligning yourself with public enemy number one. And if they can't get public enemy number one, best person is the ride or die of public enemy number one. So I was really torn on this because really this is the type of game where, yes, you always want to have a public enemy number one still there. But because of this safety chain-esque thing, it's not something that you maybe want to die on the hill. Like, let Catherine be in the bottom two and then you save her.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, don't pick her first. Like, let everybody feel like they've gotten one over. She's going to win. And then you're left with like a Christine and a Catherine and be like, Christine, you never talked to me, and Catherine, you do. So I guess I'm going to keep Catherine. And then that's an easy like ploy to get, you know what I mean? So I don't necessarily think she should have done that, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty good example of what I'm thinking also is what Kristin just said. I'm not too fond of her picking Catherine right off the bat, but Jordan's been playing, like I said a little earlier, the emotional off the chest game, wants to pick who she thinks is personally beneficial to her game, and that's fair. Play your game. So she picks Catherine, and I mean we can just fast forward right into it because she literally picks Catherine as her first pick. I will mind you, it gets stalled because our host Jim is like, listen, our camera crew doesn't want to get rained on. Maybe Jim doesn't want to get rained on. Whatever. So everyone gets a little more time to kind of strategize, and Catherine gets her words in there. What do we got, Kristin?
I'm sorry, I have to jump in here because
Speak to me.
Nothing drives me more insane than having an unfair advantage, right? So if we're looking at how the snake has been portrayed this entire season, is it happens that night at this time, they go up and they do it, right? I understand, obviously, probably for safety reasons and like obviously for filming reasons, and obviously the snake pit lair, whatever, has like the whole like step down things. I get that whole thing. But to give them an extra 12 hours or so to talk and save themselves or make deals is going to be unfair to anybody that came and went before them, who's going to come and go after them, because that just gave them an extra 12 hours. What I think they should have done is been like, we don't have our fancy setup because it's currently flooded, but we're going to have it right here, right now in this room, and let's go with it. Because I just feel like that's unfair to anybody that would not get those extra 12 hours. Would it have changed the outcome? Probably not. But I just think that's just unfair to other people that are playing the game.
10 of 10, no notes, yes. That's it.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Yeah.
It's me in the living room. Let's go.
Right, like why not just do it right then and there? Like, yes, I get for the whole aesthetic of it all. I get it. Like, I get it. But like, you have to look at the extra time that you're giving people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean they're kind of bringing it like it's Love Island already, so bringing some Big Brother elements. I mean, just put it in the goddamn diary room, the goddamn front of the office house. Jake, you got any opinion on this one?
Yeah. So I was just gonna say I'm in agreement with that too. Like, it's very odd. It's like if Survivor hosted a tribal council during the day, all of a sudden, like a few days or like a day later, like that can change so much in that amount of time. And in this case, I don't really think it changed the outcome this round, but that for any other round, it could have absolutely changed everything. Like even earlier rounds in this game, like think about it, if they had done a 12-hour difference, maybe Devontae doesn't go home, for example, or something
Right.
those lines. So I just changes
And
everything.
think how fun it would be. Sarah asked me for a hand over you. Like, oh, we didn't know who Jordan was 2 episodes ago on the couch. Seeing her vote people off, head of snake on the same couch. Love it. Iconic. Would loved it.
I mean, at the end of the day, I agree. Like I said, I don't think that this does change the outcome. But now, if I'm a player left in the game, and I know my butt's like probably going to end up in the bottom-ish, like even not bottom 2, I'm going to be like, well, you gave these people an extra 12 hours. Why can't I get an extra 12 hours? Like, because then that's not fair, and you can't set up a game like that because you're then going to, of course, get everybody that's like, that's not fair. You gave this person this. Why didn't I get this? And that you're just asking for anybody to be like, oh my gosh, my player went out. My family member went out because you gave them an extra 12 hours. So,
You know what I would really like to see the snake do, and I literally just thought of this after I said the Big Brother comment, would be like a double elimination. Like the second one's immediately like after another snake. So like there's a challenge, like it's a whatever, like a puzzle maybe, whatever the hell you can do in like 5 minutes, and then snake again. Like you literally have no time to talk to anyone. I would love to see what they do. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Not like we did earlier when we had the 2 go out there, like have the one go out and then immediately run back another. I agree, because I think like what do you do now? Because now you have to rely on what you guys have talked about for the days beforehand. I agree.
Mm-hmm. So I think we should get into the actual snake portion. What happens at this ceremony in the morning? What did Jim? I don't even remember what Jim called it. It was like the sunrise glaze.
Sunrise, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, Jim, you're on something one today, but I love Jimmy. He's so fucking. He's a pretty good host, actually. I like Jim.
He is.
Yeah, I agree.
He was.
He
If
also-
this was filmed in current day, I would have thought he had one of those fake Celsius we see on the news.
Right? It's like the 6 a.m.
Right.
But of course, Jordan picks Catherine here. We'll start the chain off here. I mean, she definitely had other options, but Catherine was her pick and probably the best for her, I guess, if she's picking her number 1. I mean, I liked Kristen's idea, and I probably prefer her to go later personally, just to kind of not put yourself out there as like so close to Catherine, but she picks Catherine there. And then we get the, shout outs of, I promised Jack this, I promised Christine this, but Catherine ends up picking Alyssa here and kind of pisses off Jack and Christine in this moment. They're pretty much, Christine's like, why didn't you pick me? You lied to me. And Jack's just kind of laughing it off. I mean, how many hits can Catherine take, man? I mean, she's just lying it up.
Yeah, the from like my experience in orgs and everything, like I feel like you want to be like honest with people and live up to your deals and follow through, especially like it's just getting to like the halfway point of the game. I still think you can't be like making a bunch of deals and then breaking them immediately. Like I think we saw it with Devontae. He broke a deal just to protect the boys, and then ended up screwing him the very next round. So
yeah, I'm going back to Jordan. This is the perfect time for you to show allegiance to the group here, because you are in the power to save one of the bottom two. This was her perfect. She could have picked Alyssa or Frank, and then Alyssa's going to pick Frank. The entire I don't want to go into all of them because I know we're going to go through them, but I feel like this train of the snake is going to continue exactly how it went, minus the one that I was a little shocked by, which we'll talk about. But then you end up with Catherine, and then one of the other two people in the bottom two, and then you save Catherine, and then you've now I feel like everybody else would understand out of who's left, that made more sense for you to save that person versus right off the bat being like, fuck you guys, I don't care, she's my ride or die. And I just feel like that's setting her up too, not only because Catherine is being herself, but you're now tied to her.
Yeah, Kristin, I agree with you. I think there's a way to go through a very similar order that we're about to go through, with certain players building more social capital than they actually did with the order we had.
Correct.
Yeah, I agree with everyone completely. So we pretty much go into Alyssa picking Frankie, Frankie picking Amanda, and then Amanda picks Derek. I think those are pretty self-explanatory. It makes sense. This was the big wow one. This is where I vocalized it was going to be something different. It completely was. Derek ends up picking McLean. I don't know if this was just strictly strategy of him thinking that McLean will take Jack or what, but I figured it'd be Brett from the edit, but I don't know about you guys. I know Kristin has some opinions on it.
Well, no, I mean, it's not really an opinion. I mean, it was just that's not who, because if he's against the bros, which we've seen this kind of divide, even though they kind of tried to maybe make something, I just didn't expect the McLean, but when it happened, I was like, what? Wait, what happened? What, you picked two? Because it does show from the edit that I would have assumed Brett, which again gets the same thing that's about to happen here. But also they're doing this whole. It just was weird to me because you kind of got so many stories of what was leading up to this, which is again why I think the snake does well of blindsiding us as an audience too, which I love.
Yeah. So we pretty much have a few players left. I mean, we obviously see McLean's picking Jack, and then Jack picks Brett. He was one of the last three, so we pretty much head into Jordan's pick because there's two newcomers that kind of came in late into the game, John and Christine. And I mean, this one kind of shocked me a little bit. I don't know about everyone else, but you have those two left, and Jordan's like, listen, I thought about this really hard, but I'm picking John to stick around here. And honestly, that was probably the biggest shock to me personally. I was like, oh, you could have taken out a big threat here. Well, you guys say he's a big threat. I don't know if he is yet, but he's only been here for two fucking snakes. But Christine, she hasn't been doing much social capital. I mean, she's really not a big deal at all. I don't know about you guys, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on Jordan's decision, because I was like, I mean, are you just making friends with John here because you think he's, possibly, going to get an uphand at one point? What are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I think it came completely down to social connections. I don't think there was any other reason to eliminate Christine, because she's not really a threat to anybody from what we've been shown. So yeah, I just think it's removing someone that doesn't have any social connections and could be a bit of a wild card. And in my opinion, wild cards are the most deadly because you don't know where they're gonna stand in the game.
Lindsey?
Yeah, I'm kind of in agree with Jake here on this one. John seemed like the obvious choice in the beginning. Then we saw him putting in the work with everybody on the cast, especially with Jordan being the snake. And we didn't see that with Christine at all. So I was a little confused by her game being a teacher, that she wasn't a little bit more interacting with everybody. But it is hard to come in late and we don't get to see everything. So I'm sure that's part of everything as well. So I agree. I think, Kristin, did you see this last episode before? It's better to go with the enemy you know than the enemy you don't know. And I'm just wondering if Jordan doing like A through Z strategy, being HR director, is going like the enemy I don't know.
So I'm right there with all of you guys. I think that this was not the best move for Jordan here. One, Kristine's not a threat to you. We know that John can do competitions and you want to be in that snake power position, right? So that's number one on the list. Like, get rid of somebody that's going to be able to beat me in a challenge because I want to be the snake. Number two, Kristine, again, has zero social capital. She's done nothing. Like, we forget every week that this girl is even here. Like, that's the issue here. So eliminate somebody that's even now starting to, like, even though he came in late, he's starting to build stuff with people, like, little bit at a time, even with your own self. Kristine has nobody, so you don't have to, she'll always be at the bottom. Nobody's going to pick her unless, of course, she fits in because they want to take somebody else out here. But again, this is where Jordan could have set herself up to have John or Kristine in the bottom with Catherine to save Catherine and use the whole, you just don't talk to me situation. But what I will point up is that early on when Catherine picks Alyssa, right, Kristine calls her out. And she's like, you, and we already know Jack did the same thing. I think that this is the narrative, and we didn't see it, so I'm going to be interested if they pull this back in with later episodes, that obviously Catherine brought up, well, you said you were gunning for me and Jordan, and you called us little bitches, and Kristine's like, what? Like, what? So it almost seemed like this was the narrative that Catherine was using to influence Jordan a little bit, to be like, she's after us. Because this makes zero sense for Jordan's game to take out Kristine and not John. So that's where I think that this whole thing came into play, is that this, like, nobody said this, or at least we haven't seen yet. Like, maybe somebody did say this. Maybe Kristine actually said this. We don't know. But, like, Kristine seemed a little shocked, too. So I think that this was, like, the narrative that Catherine has to run with now because she's told so many lies.
Mm-hmm.
Because even Catherine said herself, I promised you that in the moment. Like, that's how you get out of it, right? Like, in the moment, but the new stuff came out. Oopsie, you know what I mean? So, like, Catherine's setting herself up. She's not stupid, but that's honestly where I think this went down, is that I think that this was a made-up thing that Catherine then went, I think in, like, the next episode, we're going to get a Catherine of, like, strategy 107, lie about something that happened that didn't actually happen or whatever. And we're going to see that moment where she tells Jordan, I just heard Kristine's coming for us, and she called us bitches. Can you believe that? Like, and it's like a whole part because she feels like she can manipulate Jordan. And I think that's what happened here.
I think I don't even know if this is an argument, but the only thought I got here on the difference between John and Kristine here is this. In this specific type of game, you have to be chosen, right? Like, you literally have to get picked. And I think the only thing I can think about is she thought about it and said, listen, I don't know if Kristine's going to get picked. So if I save John, and I know he's in the thoughts of other people, at least minimally, if he gets picked before that final two, like, he might save me over, like, Kristine, who I might be next to in a bottom two, and I might go home. So that's the only thought I have on that. Like, that's the only situation I could see her thinking about, like, trying to avoid. And maybe that's a good thing for her game. Maybe she thinks she's in that vulnerability spot where maybe she could be up against Kristine. That's the only argument I got.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Jordan is well insulated here, but I think this specific snake safety chain may have screwed our booty pumping girl here, but
I mean, we'll see here soon, because in the previews for the next episode, she's strutting out with some anger.
Who's lying to me? But also, like, we had to analyze this. Like, did anybody write down who was in that group that she came out yelling at? Because I know we saw Frank, I know we saw McLean and Jack, but I didn't see who the other two were in that moment. So I have to go back.
Definitely Brett was in there.
Okay. So it's, again, so that tells me that probably, but that's what I'm trying to figure out, was Catherine in that group?
That was my question too. Was Catherine there?
Right. And so that's where I'm like, okay, that would tell me a lot, because if Catherine's not in the group, and Catherine fed her some more they called us bitches moments, and that's what she's coming out to, especially against Frank and Alyssa, who are there, like, and going like, no, hold on a minute, we were sitting with you on the couch. Or if Catherine is there, and this is finally where it comes to, like, Catherine's going to bite the bullet here.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot to talk our final thoughts here on what's going to happen next.
Sure.
I personally think Catherine could be biting her final thoughts here. I don't know. She's been pushing so hard this season, and I think it's just caught up to her to the point where, I mean, the way the snake works is you got to trust somebody to keep them in the game. And, I mean, she's starting to get to the point where it's just minimal. I mean, if it's just Jordan picking you at this point, I mean, that's not good. That's basically what Catherine did to Brian way earlier, where she was like, listen, you're the only one. I'm the only one picking you. I don't want to, continue that. Like, someone else has got to pick you or else you're gone. So I'll run it around. Final thoughts going into the next week. We'll start with Jake, our special guest. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think we're gonna see the downfall of Catherine starting next week. Whether she actually goes home next week, I think it's possible. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say there's a chance next week, but it could also be in 2 weeks. But I think Catherine's downfall is definitely starting.
That's a good thought, Lindsay. Do you have any predictions, thoughts of the next episode?
Yeah, I think the player episode tonight is going to disadvantage Catherine or Jordan, and we're being set up for both of their ends, and they're not necessarily going to stand a chance next to. No offense, you guys are great athletic ladies, but Amanda's been killing it, Brett's been killing it, Jack's been killing it, and I think that Kristine's going to send one of you at disadvantage, and we're setting up both of your downfall.
Okay, Kristin, final thoughts, predictions?
Final thoughts. I think that obviously I almost feel like this is too set up for Catherine downfall. So it's like they want us to feel like this is where Catherine comes into her downfall here. But here's the beauty of the snake, which is why I love it. Normally I don't chain. Anybody in power changes the entire shift of this game, right? So I'm more interested to see. I think that as much as I love my friend Alyssa, and they are my dynamic duo of every episode because I love them so much. And of course my boy Jack. Like, Jack, please, I love you. Like, I'm here for you. But you make some questionable choices here. But I feel like we might get an upset next week. Like, I feel like this is setting us up for, I think, our biggest blindside of the season. And it's going to be somebody that we do not see coming.
Hot take.
Interesting. Okay, I'm kind of looking forward to that now.
We'll see.
No.
I could be totally wrong. But
that's what a prediction is, right?
It just feels like too led, right? Like too bring the horse to the water to drink. Like, I feel like they're leading us too much into it where it's like, I don't know.
No, I kind of agree, though, because we're really seeing a lot of Catherine and her downfall. I mean, maybe. Well, I think she's going to get the disadvantage from Kristine, but maybe someone that she's slightly aligned with wins. I don't know. Like, maybe John wins, and we're going to see a crazy.
Can you imagine? Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Let's talk about his bow ties.
He's going to keep rocking them, Lindsay. Come on.
If only they match the button-ups. That's the problem. I like the bow ties as a whole. You got to match.
Yeah,
I mean, that's politics, okay? Maybe not the fashion.
Okay, player of the episode.
Oh boy. I don't want to give it to somebody, but I have someone in mind.
All right, Jake, you go first since Austin doesn't want to give it away. Jake, player of the episode.
Oh boy. I think I'll give mine to. I think I'll give it to Amanda. Honestly, I think that she's a good strategist. Again, I think that she's going to be able to slide past the few people that are doubting her. I mean, especially with Catherine still there. I do think Amanda is going to be able to kind of use Catherine as the meat shield for the moment. So I think I'm looking for Amanda to make it pretty deep.
Lindsay?
I'm going to give mine to Derek. Not player of the season, player of the episode. He's been taking a lot of hits a bit, and he wormed his way back into the middle. And he's working with Brett. He's working with Jack, and he's helping influence Jordan on the snake train. And we thought he was going home 2 episodes ago and waiting for his uphill battle to see if he could do it. So I'm going to give mine to Derek.
All right. I, of course, would normally always, in every episode that we do, it's Frank and Alyssa and Jack, okay? We already know the love. But I'm actually pulling out a whoa moment here. I'm giving the player of the episode, Mac, because McLean is taking it for me because I think this little speaker just lit a fire under her butt. But she doesn't want to be Jack's side piece, Jack's this, Jack that. And it's going to light a fire under her ass and she's going to bring some shit. So
I wrote that down. Solid.
Well, McLean, I see you.
Okay. That's a wild card for sure. I did not expect you to say that.
I know. I was like, I'm going to pull out a stop.
See, I picked Catherine, and this is why. The entire game is literally that end part. What does the snake do? And I think she kind of influenced Jordan to do the route that it went, and then also pick John instead of Kristin. Personally, that's what I think kind of led her to that direction. Maybe she is playing Jordan like a puppet. Maybe she's right. I don't know. But I still have Frank and Alyssa as my duo of the week. I'm sorry. So they take it back. I just want to put that out there.
Also, I have to throw this out. Frank, I swear to God, I've got your back, and I'm going to pound on some people. Don't make my boyfriend cry. Unacceptable.
They were the only two that like kind of got hurt by their comments, other than McLean. I guess Kristin did also, but no one remembered. But you got they were the only two that kind of hurt because I feel like they've been the two that have kind of been out there with everyone. Like, listen, but so I don't know. I'm always keeping my eyes on those two, and again, those two stay true to themselves. They stay true with each other in the chain. So. Again, I think that's the power too right there. So they're my
Frank, Alyssa, we got your guys' back. We're the bodyguards.
They're amazing. Top duo. And also Alyssa, shout out to you because I forgot to do my eye patches last night until I saw you strategizing wearing them. So thank you for the reminder, girl. I needed that. So
but also last night was Alyssa's birthday. So can we give a little shout out to Alyssa for her birthday? Happy birthday, Queen.
Happy birthday.
Big birthday shout out.
All right.
So I think that's pretty much the episode, guys. Episode 6 was a good run. I want to shout everyone out real quick. Vote the GOAT. Sports season's coming up. Come check me out. If you like football, come check me out. Kristin, where can we find you?
Well, we made the joke. Vanquish Online Reality Games, but you can also find me personally, Mom of Two Warriors, on Instagram.
Lindsay, where can I find you?
You can find me at Lindsey and Harper on Instagram. I'm kind of boring. It's just pictures of my dogs, but they're really cute. My cats make an appearance sometimes too. All right, Jake, up to you.
Yeah. So go follow the Tribe Nerds podcast. Kristin and Austin are a part of it too. So go check us out for Survivor content, Lost, Marvel, all that good stuff. We're currently doing Survivor What If, and we're interviewing Survivor players about what if you changed one thing in their Survivor history, how it impacts Survivor lore. And it's really fun. We talked to Queen Sandra, Stephen Fishback, a bunch of really fun interviews there, and our Survivor 1 through 50 series to celebrate Survivor 50. So a lot of good stuff. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us, and you can find me on jbaruki19 on Instagram, and yeah, all the socials. So
thank you, Jake, for being our guest on the Snake episode 6. We will be next week, episode 7. We're finally getting here. What do you?
What day are we doing this? Vote the GOAT.
We're hiding the date because I want it to be on Wednesdays. That's what we're gonna do.
We're working on whether it's after or the day after. So
damn you caught me. All right. So Episode 7. We're gonna be tuned in next week on the Reality After Show. Catch y'all later.